Hi, Shane Wilson here from the Meditation Learning Center, and this is another segment of Meditation Teachers Tips. And today we're looking at some basics as far as the tools of meditation, the posture of meditation, the place, and the meditation object. The tools that we use in meditation, the posture that we have, the place, and of course the meditation object, or what we're focusing on, are very key areas of meditation. We should be very versed in them as a teacher, as a student. These questions come up a lot. I remember when I started out meditating, I was really concerned about the posture. And then after we meditate for a while, the posture is secondary. But we should have an understanding of how to explain these things to a student. And if you are a student, this information is very valuable for you. Now, the tools of meditation, by the way, this is like an acronym that I use. Like if I'm in front of a group of people and I get kind of lost for what to speak of, I know that I can always go to this TPPO, tools, posture, place, and object, meditation object. So it's, like I said, it's kind of a go-to, but it's very important information that everybody should know regardless. The tools, everything from meditation cushion. If a person doesn't have a cushion, use blankets, pile up, get high up in the air, and then once the body becomes accustomed to sitting on the floor, you can lower the blanket, and then finally, find a cushion that works for you. This is like the basic tools. In some areas of the country, people like to wear shawls. That's a tool. Timers. Everybody has a timer on their phone these days. It works great. You might want to look into an app. Like, I have to pitch Insight Timer because I'm one of the teachers on Insight Timer, but the Insight Timer is a fantastic timer that keeps track of your daily meditations and maybe your weak parts of the week. In other words, do you have trouble meditating on Sunday, for example? It'll show that up for you. So these apps are something that I think the Buddha would actually use if he would have had access to them. And one of my teachers, Bhante Gudarantana, actually uses the Insight Timer a lot. I've seen him pull it out at retreats and that type of thing. So it's really interesting. And as far as tools, the bells to start the meditation and to end the meditation. As a teacher, you'll want to have some sort of bell to start and stop, something that sounds really sweet to you and the other people that you're working with. Probably the biggest question I get as far as tools and how it relates to posture is, should I be sitting on a cushion or should I be sitting on a chair? And of course, that doesn't really matter. But a fantastic teacher I had, I never saw him sit on the floor, ever. He always sat in a chair, he always taught in a chair and meditated in a chair. And so it's just really a preference. Sometimes people have ailments in their body where they shouldn't be sitting on the floor. It's very common. Now, as far as moving into posture, keeping the back straight, maybe the chin lifted, or sometimes people will say tucked a little bit, so that once the chin falls down, the back kind of rounds as well. That's something that we want to stay away from because we want that energy to easily flow up and down, just like the air flowing up and down the body. I usually tell people that they can place their hands wherever they like. Sometimes people use a mudra like this or have their palms open, and that's fine. I'm not a stickler, so to speak, on where and how to hold the hands. To me, it just does not, it does not matter as far as mudras and things like that. The posture, basically a person should be as comfortable as they can possibly get to start the meditation so that there's not too much movement around. If a person does move around, they have to remind them that they have to kind of settle back in. It's the analogy of a muddy glass of water where it's stirred up a little bit every time we move. But that glass of water, once it's able to set still, it's clear as a bell. We can see right through the glass, and it's a good analogy for the mind, moving around and the movement of the mind as well. So again, we looked at tools, the posture, and now the place of meditation. A lot of people, they don't have a very good place in their homes to meditate. This is what I find. I like to remind people that they can convert a closet into their little, their meditation place. And in their meditation place, they want to have maybe a book and a timer and a few things that are special to them if they have their own place. It could be a corner in their home. It could be in the garden, outside. But one place that I used to meditate a lot in is my car. When I was working a 9-to-5 job, on every lunch break, 5 days a week, I would take my car to a little park, eat my lunch, and sit in meditation for about 45 minutes. And I did that every day for several years, and it really improved my practice. It was really a part of my everyday thing, and it really changed things for me. And now I'm lucky enough to have these wonderful places to meditate. I wake up in the morning and I sit for an hour and meditate in a loft in the house here, and then I also have the center. I can go there and meditate at any time I like, and I'm very, very fortunate in that area. But the place is important. You should have a place set up so that when you want to go meditate, you just go there. And so a home practice, a place in your home is very important. And of course, I always recommend maybe getting together with a meditation group at least once a week to kind of remind ourselves that we're not doing this practice alone, that kind of thing. So, and as far as the place, the next area is the meditation object. Very, very important to speak to people about their meditation object, because it is the question is, what do I do in meditation? How do I meditate? And the answer to that is to focus your attention on a stationary or close to stationary object, such as the breath. The breath is the number one object that is used. It's the most popular. It's spoke highly about by many, many meditation teachers, including the Buddha himself. The Anapanasati, or what is called mindfulness of breathing, was a sutra that the Buddha talked about as far as using the breath and how to use the breath. So initially, we want to focus on the breath, maybe some location that we feel it the most. And this, for myself, is the tip of the nose. Very common place. We can also use the sinuses, the windpipe, even in the movement of the abdomen of the breath. And some people like to feel the entire breath. And sometimes that's a very good way to get people into meditation when they're starting out, just to invite them to feel the entire breath as it comes in and leaves the body. Notice the coolness and the warmth. And then maybe try to eventually have them focus that into one more refined area, such as the tip of the nose, and have them be able to bring their attention there. But also remind them that this is a meditation object. This is a tool that we're using in meditation. Another tool, right? TPPO. So this object is a tool, but it is treated a little bit differently because it's a tool that brings us into this presence and allows us to discover our true nature, who we really are, beyond the mind that's in the past and the future. And these are really the basic. I'm sorry, I'm going to back up a little bit. Remind the student that their mind is going to wander off, and it's very natural, and for them to gently bring their attention back to the breath. And of course, these are just the basics of meditation. There's a great, I think it's great, maybe I shouldn't say that because it's something that I created, but it's a video called Basic Breath Meditation, and it's absolutely free. It's a small course, a small program, and I'll put the link down below here so that If you really want to have some ammunition for these areas of teaching, go to that program and check it out. There's some quizzes in there and you can take a test. It's a lot of fun stuff, but it talks more in depth about each one of these areas. And of course, there's a course called Minding the Breath, which is a book that is based on these things. That is a more in-depth course. I'm not trying to sell that or anything like that, but if a person wanted to dive into this a little bit more, they could use that course. Anyway, this is the meditation teacher's tips for this time around. If you have any comments or questions, please contact me and check out that link below, and you'll be taken to a program that you might enjoy checking out. Absolutely free. Thank you very much. I hope this is helpful.